Here we go. Number 6, quotient and remainder, problem type 3. Now, we have some large numbers here. So we've got a double-digit divisor. So here is what I am recommending you do. Number 1, pull up your calculator. Okay. Number 2, we're going to list the first 9 multiples of my divisor. My divisor this time happens to be 25. So I'm going to go 25 plus 25. That equals 50. So I'm going to write 50 here. Okay. I'm going to go back to my calculator, add another 25. That gives me 75. Okay. So I'm going to keep doing that. Now it's 25, so I can count by 25s in my head. So I'm just going to go ahead and count by 25s in my head. So 100, 125, 150, 175, 200, and 225. So those are the first 9 multiples of 25. Now here's why I'm doing that. I'm doing that because the hardest part about double-digit divisors is, well, what number do I put where? I don't know. Okay, so listing these, that takes the guesswork out of, well, what number goes where? Now, here's what I look for. Is there a number that is less than 6 in my list right here? No. So I'm going to put a 0 up here. Okay. Now, what is the largest number that's less than 62? So if I look here, 25, 50, 75 is bigger. So that means 50 is the largest number that's less than 62. So I'm going to come back over here. So that's one group, two groups. So my grouping was 2. So then I multiply, just like normal division. 2 times 25 is 50. Yes, you guessed it. I'm going to subtract. And then I'm going to bring down. Okay. Now, again, I go back to the top. So I'm going to group. What's the largest number that's less than 125? So let's look for, there's 125 right there. Let's count how many groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 groups. So I've grouped. I multiply. I subtract. And I bring down. 0. So how many groups of 25 fit into 0? 0 groups do. Now, what I want you to be aware of, you'll notice that I'm using grid paper here, and everything is in nice, neat columns. Every number up here should have, every number in my dividend should have a number up above it in the quotient. Okay? What does that do? That just helps me make sure that I use all my numbers. Okay, so that just helps me make sure that, you know what, I brought down everything. I brought down the 5 here. Okay, I brought down the 0 here. So once you have nothing else to bring down, you are finished with the problem. Okay, so then what you can do, just to make sure, you can go back and give me a 250 times 25, and that does equal 6,250. So I was right. Okay, all right, so what I want you to do is go ahead and give the video a pause. Okay, and then I want you to give 2,265 divided by 15 a try. Okay, you can use your list up here to help you out. Okay, in your steps to success. So go ahead, pause the video, and I'll see you in a couple minutes. So here's my answer. I came up with 151. And here's all my work, so you can pause the video and give it a check just to make sure we have all the same multiples here. Make sure you have all the same numbers. Okay, so my answer, 151. So I'm going to go back to my calculator just to make sure. 151 times 15 equals 2,265. I'm good to go. Next problem. Now I've got 1,362, and I did this on purpose. I wrote it this way on purpose, divided by 35. So you make sure that you can put the numbers in correctly. Okay, so it's 70, 105. I've got 140. And then 175. Is that right? Nope, that's not right. Yeah. Still counting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 8 would be 28, 280, and then 9 would be 315. Okay, so there's all first 9 multiples of 35. Okay, so what am I going to put? How many groups of 1 can I get out of 35? None. How about 13? None. How about now? I can get something out of 136. So 140 is larger, so I go here. So there's 1, 2, so I'm going to put 105. And how many groups is that? That's 1, 2, 3. 3 groups. So I'm going to subtract. And when I subtract, I get 31. Now, when I subtract, I have to be aware that what I subtract is less than 35. And it is. So I'm good to go. I'm going to bring down my 2. Let's see. What do we have? I'm looking for a number. The largest number less than 300. 315 is larger. So I'm going to go back to 280. So that would be 8 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 times 35 is 280. And I'm going to subtract. And 32 is less. So my answer, 32 and 35ths. Now, here's what Alex is going to ask. Here's what Alex asks you to do. They ask for the quotient, which is 38. And then they ask for the remainder, which is 32. Now, I don't like remainders because they don't have any real-life implication. Because when you type in your calculator, oops, sorry about that. When you type in the calculator 1,362 divided by 35, you get this decimal. Okay, so 91428. Watch this. 91428. So 32 35ths is equal to this decimal right here. Okay, so Alex asks you to type in the quotient 38, 32. So that's what the decimal is. Okay, that's what the decimal is this fraction. Because fractions and decimals are the same, as you will learn later this school year. Okay, so go ahead and give the video a pause. Okay, and I want you to try 10,675 divided by 11. See you in a couple, or you'll be listening to me in a couple minutes. So here's what I came up with. Hopefully you came up with the exact same answer. 970 and 5/11. Now here's where we got a little bit tricky. Okay, so I brought down my 7. So I had 77. 7 groups of 11 fit into 77. Subtract, I get 0. So how many groups of 11 can I get out of 5? So this is where I'm guessing if you had an issue, guessing this is where it came in. Okay, so how many groups of 11 can I get out of 5? 0. So I have to have a 0 up here. Have to have a 0 up here. Gotta have that 0 up here. Okay, so 0 times 11 is 0. 5 minus 0 is 5. So again, my quotient would be 970 in Alex, and my remainder would be 5. Okay, so that's what you would put into Alex. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was number 6, quotient and remainder, problem type 3, also known as double-digit divisors.